Where do I start? And what does the future look like? What does it hold for me? So if you look at the phases, we had discussed this already. You have foundation, specialization, and leadership. So if you're talking about foundation, this is a profession where you execute a specific task. For example, you can use tools like ChatGPT, Jasper, Midjourney. You can either create images, you can build portfolios, you can come up with no-code tools. You use no-code tools. You understand. You're AI literate, which means you understand what the terminology. You understand the tools. You understand the basic working of the basic things. So that is where you're at the foundation level. Now, foundation level jobs are what we had discussed in the past. Whether it is a content creator, whether it is somebody who is a prompt engineer, whether somebody is a product manager. So then you have specialization, where you build your specialization in a particular platform, whether it is automations, integrations, working with AI agents, building AI agents, etc. Anything that can be a specialization. Then you are able to lead projects. You're able to handle a complete assignments where you have different modules, and you're able to coordinate and orchestrate all these things together, form a strategy, get that executed, get the product or service shipped. So that is where you move to the leadership positions. So these are three different career phases if you're looking at building your career. So you know where you stand. But considering AI is new, if you have not started anything at this point in time, I think this is the best path to follow. So start at the foundation level, whether it is a part-time job, whether it is a freelance assignments that you're looking at. If you cannot leave your 9 to 5 at the moment, start taking up assignments like a freelancer, or do it pro bono to start with, so that you understand the foundations, then layer a specialization, then you move to the leadership positions. At the end of the day, no company will ever function, at least in the next 10 years or 15 years, where there is zero human dependency. That is just not going to happen, in my personal opinion again. Okay, have a look at this dashboard, which talks about the AI job market, the job roles, geography, industries, and sources. Most of them are don't go by the numbers. These are not the actual numbers, but just understand the trend, right? So if you're talking about the overview of the evolution of AI demand, we're talking about 2019, right? And from 19, there was a consistent upswing until 2022. There was a dip. I wouldn't call it dip. I would call this adjustment, because there were a lot of new things like agents, agentic stuff, AI, automations. Now all these things came into picture, and the market took some time to stabilize, and then it started showing an upward trend. So until 2030, there is absolutely no slowing down, right? So then you look at the number of jobs. The same is the case with the number of jobs. So demand is going to be on a constant rise. Now the same thing is going to happen with respect to your jobs as well. So if you look at the job roles that we're talking about and the industries that can actually benefit. So generative AI specialist is something that I said, which has got about 156.4% growth. Then you have AI engineer, which is about 140. Now don't go by the numbers and the percentages and think that these are not in demand. These are extremely high in demand with respect to their category. You cannot obviously compare a generative AI specialist total addressable size of the market to AI engineer. AI engineers are very small in number, but they command huge salaries. Now this number is too big for an AI engineer talent pool. So you can't compare these. Look at them as individual elements and see the independent individual growth. There was nothing called a generative AI specialist until 2024, late 2024. So that explains the reason why this has been growing so much. Then you have AI engineer, then you have prompt engineer. This is something that's surprising to me, because I'll make another video about this specifically, but you need to understand why would people hire a prompt engineer, right? Can't they prompt things themselves? Now there are prompt packs that are ready to use prompts. But think about it. What is the way you interact with a business, with an LLM or with an AI tool? At this point in time, though there is voice coming up, but then that also have to be prompted in a certain way. Prompt is the only way that you can interact with a bot at this point in time. So prompt engineers may be helpful in coming up with defined prompts. Now prompt engineers can come very handy when you're setting up automations where your automation has to interact with ChatGPT. You can't have a solid automation with a bad prompt engineering prompt, with a badly engineered prompt, when your automation interacts with ChatGPT or any other LLM. So you need to be there, somebody who can be on the prompts 24/7, practice the prompts, make them better, have custom GPTs and so on, right? So this is going to be indeed a very important role, and I don't think this is going to be what those gurus tell you, that just become a prompt engineer in 10 days. it is just not going to happen. That is a different kind of prompt engineering. That will not cut the deal. Then you have AI content creator, AI ethics specialist, machine learning engineer, blah, blah, blah. So these are the numbers that you can look at. Then you have the overall split in terms of the salary bands, right? So if you look at, see, remember, I told you that do not compare this and don't underestimate that anybody who is getting into AI should get into this pool. This is 156.4% growth, but think about what the salary band is. It is about $90,000, right? Just because there is a huge demand and there is a highest number of spike in terms of the job openings does not mean it is going to get you those kind of salaries. At the end of the day, who is going to get the more salaries? The tech guys. The AI research scientist and the AI engineer are commanding high salaries because of the nature of the work that they do, right? So this is an overall split of about what the market speaks about. Now, if you want to take a screenshot, you can for further references. We don't need this, right? So then you have geography. It's nothing much. These are the industries. So AI adoption by industry now, and also the job creation with respect to the industry. Same industries. It is going to show you the number of jobs that are going to be created in a specific industry, while the percentage of AI adoption, right? So look at current is green and the future is yellow. So 95 to 98 is going to be the impact of tech between now and 2030. So pretty much we're almost there, right? So there will be growth all across the board. Now the number of jobs are going to be created will be in terms of tech, then followed by healthcare, then followed by finance, then followed by manufacturing, retail, education, energy, right? Media. All right. Now this is my favorite dashboard, which is kind of very, very interesting, and it gives you everything in one snapshot. AI-driven job roles of 2025. Now you can search for these roles. You can also look at by the way, I can link you up on this dashboard if you want, so that you can perform a search. Or this is an interactive dashboard. I can share a link with you, or I can export the CSV and send it to you in case you want it. Now, the median salary based upon the top 8 roles is this. The fastest growing is 26%. The speed at which this is growing is at 26%, between 25 to 30. Now, demand lift is about 161%, right? Now, these are all the different kinds of job roles or industries that we're talking about. Now, salary is distributed based upon median salary. You can also look at 2025 demand, right? Now, you can look at multi-agent orchestration engineer. This is the max salary. What is the median salary? What is the minimum salary? Then you have data engineer. Then you have synthetic data engineer is somebody who plays with data which is not real data. This is simulated data that can help you train the models better, right? Then you have model evaluations engineer, then you have RAG engineer, then you have LLM ops or platform engineer. So basically this is all tech roles, right? Now projected demand through 2030, this is in 2025, this is going to be the projected demand in 2030. As I said, there is absolutely no stopping. Then you have these are all the different kinds of roles if you want to understand, right? Multi-agent orchestration engineer, what do they deal with? Model evaluation engineer. So this is all very tech. What about the non-tech? And this is India, so you can always go back to US and perform a search. The US median, I think, is about 195. What we saw earlier was India. Now look at Europe. But if you want to get a decent picture, look at the global scale, right? So this you can go ahead and browse and do your own research based upon where you fit in. This is all tech. Now this is all in India, so let's switch to USD. Let's stick to go global, right? So these are all the tech roles that we have seen. Now I want to get to something interesting. So if you want a table of this, not just in a grid structure, you can always go back here. So this will give you everything about what skills are needed, what region it is going to be, what region do these numbers correspond to, what is the category that we're looking at, median, max, growth percentage, 25 versus 224 data, right? What skills, etc. Now, let's make this interesting by looking at the no-code aspect of it. Now, when you look at no-code, this is AI literacy, which is your proficiency with the tools, right? Then you have prompting for marketing and sales. Then you have workflow automations. Then you have CRM AI ops. Then you have data analytics. Then you have agent orchestration, which is working and orchestrating no-code agents. Then you have AI content ops, knowledge-based structuring, compliance, AI policy, blah, 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 right? Now, representative roles for non-programmers, these are all the different roles that you can expect, right? I don't think I have the salary structure here, but let me try and get that for you. Anyway, then you have the roadmap. So how do you move from a foundation level when you get in to where you want to go, right? So let's say 2025. So this is tech again. We're not going to look at this. We're only going to look at this. So 25-26, the career map for non-programmers. Let's actually zoom into this. Okay, so 2025-26 roadmap for people who are non-tech. Foundation is 0 to 4 weeks. AI literacy. Get yourself familiarized with all the basic terminology, tools, prompt patterns, data literacy, ethics and policy basics. Then you have tooling, basic tools. I think you should know 1 or 2 tools in every category. Interacting with LLMs, you know how to do, you need to know how to use ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. Then you need to know how to work with Zapier. Then you need to know at least basic image editing or video editing tools that can help you generate images and videos, resizing, scripting, transcripting tools, tools which can write for you like Jasper, basic automations that you can use with copy.ai. So get familiarized with all these tools. Now then you have build an end-to-end AI workflow, which is from lead capture to enrichment to outreach with all your guardrails and reporting systems in place. Now then you have specialization, whether you want to focus on marketing AI, revenue ops, or data, or support agents, or anything that you think can come up with, right? Then that you can add value to. Then you have advanced, where you start looking at ROI measurement, attribution, working with AI agents, change management. So this is where you get into your leadership positions. So basically, if you want to get into all the prompt engineer, content creator roles, you can start looking at it from 0 to 3 months is your timeline. So if you want to move from to the second level where you want to specialize, then it can take between 2 to 3 months to 6 months if you upskill properly. Anything more than that, if you spend more time than that, will help you get into the leadership positions. So that's pretty much it, and I think we have covered basic ground with respect to that. So I think this should not scare you, but if anything, it should help you stay on track, get motivated, and start your journey. Now know your why. Know why you're doing it. This roadmap looks very simple, but I think it's crazy if you get to work on this. Now there are people, everybody starts from foundation, trust me on that. There is no shortcuts. You can't directly jump onto the projects. This is not programming where you can bypass a few steps and get into something. Even then you will suffer, but there is no fast track. You have to follow this. So the best thing is to start learning, whether you get a course, whether you do it yourself, whether to follow channels like this, do it and start learning these things. So that's the only way. Happy career building with AI. Until then, my name is KC signing off. This is Boring AI Company. Ciao.